guys, Troy here with K-Band Conversations. I appreciate everybody showing up, liking and supporting our small businesses. We wanted to take an opportunity to really focus on the contractor community today. We brought in Tim Sanborn. Tim, former owner, operator, acquirer of small businesses, operator of a construction business, if you will. Mm-hmm. I think that the K-Band community is made up of a lot of contractors, a lot of really good contractors. And the Chamber is looking to get more involved in this business and help these businesses grow and be a bigger part of the community. And so hopefully we've got some contractors already listening to this. If not, share this with them. But Tim, give us a little bit of background. You've got a great history as an owner, operator, like I said, acquirer of businesses, and a lot of knowledge in there that we can start to share with the community. So say hello and give us a little historical background of where you came from.
Well, thank you, Troy, and good morning, KPN and beyond.
Yeah,
Background is interesting. We're in transportation, then got into the consolidation of HVAC, plumbing, and the trades. Worked for three major consolidators. And throughout the country, these were major players buying businesses, consolidate them. So I've been directly involved in about 68 to 70 actual acquisitions in those businesses. And then the integration of those into their network, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of businesses. So I've kind of seen it all. And then have an entrepreneurial spirit and worked for a major solar company out of Binghamton, New York, one you never heard the name of because we were private labeled. And the number one roofing manufacturer, GAF, found us and liked what we do and said, can you do it under the GAF energy label? And we said, certainly we can. And we did that. And my number one client nationwide was a gentleman by the name of Russell Cazeault. And one night we had one bottle of wine too many down in Hyannis, and he said, Tim, you're an entrepreneur and very creative. Why don't we start the solar business, because it was a good transition for his business, which was a roofing business. So we launched Cazeault Solar Home, ran that from 2013 to about 2022, and the whole idea was exit strategy. And one of my clients came to me and said, what are you doing with your business? And I said, okay. And we ended up selling the business to them. They're out in Marlboro. For the first year, it worked very well. For the last couple of years, not so well. But that's for another day to talk about that. So I'm not associated with them anymore. And now we're out with the Chamber and organizations working with contractors to bring value and make their business recession-resistant, working with them on all aspects of life. We would work directly with a couple contractors, and now we're getting ready to launch all the stories in life, if you would, and bring it to the mass media.
Absolutely. So you built this company up to, was it like a seven-figure revenue year company, Cazeault, prior to selling it, correct?
Yeah, that is correct. We started at my home, quickly found a warehouse. Then we found a retail storefront right over Maplewood Avenue, brought the business to hundreds of installs a year. We did over 700 on K-Band alone, commercial and residential throughout all of Massachusetts and New Hampshire. We had at peak, we're doing 4 solar installs a week, and we were close to a run rate of $6 million. Yeah.
And I'm sure along the way, and this is where the contractors can get a lot of value from you and your experiences, you run into these hurdles that you've got to jump as you're growing your business. When you move from a one man in a van to hiring your first employee to trying to run multiple vans, trying to grow your business past that first million. Can you talk a little bit about like that aspect of the business. And that's the sort of value that you're looking at bringing to this chamber community, to Cape Ann and beyond, even with your experience running effectively a contracting business.
Yeah, with social media now and streaming and the like, you can tell the story on more of a global basis.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of steps in running any business, from single focus, meaning single contractor. You're the technician, you're the sales guy, you're the installer. You're turning a wrench and you're answering phone calls. And then if you want to grow that business, what's the next step? Who are the resources? How do you find those resources? I'm working with a contractor in Lynn right now, and he's sitting there trying to figure out what is he best at, and then how do we build the resources and bring in the available resources that we have. How do we build those in and bring them in to support him so he can run his best race, so he can be more productive and grow the value of his business.
Yeah, it's a very different business when you're a one-man band and you've got more work than you can handle, but you've got to, when you think about a business that you're growing, you're also thinking about, like, how are you doing that intentionally, right? Mm-hmm. How are you building that to get the right players to do marketing? You might not have ever done any marketing.
Yep.
You might not even really do your books like a real business, because you're just running it through your own personal tax return
in checking account.
Exactly.
How much money do I have in the checking account, right?
And the list goes on and on, right?
Yep.
But for you, what you did is when you started Cazeault and you sold Cazeault, there was intentionality along the way. Mm-hmm. And if people are interested in finding more intention in their business, it starts with conversations with you, with other people around you, building a board of directors, having people involved in the process. Are there some things that you could maybe say to this community right now, or call out to this community now that they probably aren't really thinking about, or the main problems that they're dealing with, to resonate with them?
Yeah, I think the most important thing is two things. Find the right support. Find the right resources that match what you're trying to do. They don't necessarily have to be in the plumbing business that you may be in, or the contracting business, GC, whatever. Use those resources, find them, seek them, and make sure that they're aligned and giving you good input on where you want to take the business. It's kind of like a jigsaw puzzle, trying to find the right pieces, and then find out what you're good at, and then find athletes. We call them athletes. Find those athletes that can supplement other portions of the business which you are not good at. There's a great book out there called E-Myth by Gerber. Terrific. It's written about plumbing business, and it talks about single line of focus. It talks about the technicians. There's three types of three types of people that start businesses. They're either technicians, they're either entrepreneurs like me, or they're managers. And the challenge is a lot of contractors are technicians. They're very, very good at what they do, but they're not the entrepreneurs. So to make that leap into being a technician entrepreneur, you might need a resource to help you do that. You might not be able to make that jump. I can't make the jump back to a technician, okay, because I don't have that technical skill. So I surrounded myself with folks that have those skill sets.
And it's not like we're reinventing any wheel here. We're talking about contracting businesses, and they can be different, but at the end of the day, a roofing company is a roofing company, and there's been a guy that's run a roofing company successfully for hundreds of years, right? And it's incrementally changed and it's incrementally improved, but there's always a bigger roofing company out there that you can learn from, a resource that you can learn from.
Yep.
And trying to reinvent that wheel as a young contractor trying to build a business, that might be a fool's errand when you can go to somebody like Tim, who's built this company, right? Who's worked with these type of people, who's built the sort of trusted resources around him,
Yep.
to go, maybe not necessarily, create this process that's faster, although it may be, but it may save you from making some of the mistakes along the way that these people have already made.
Yep.
And I think too many people try to take on entrepreneurship and business by themselves.
Yep.
In a vacuum.
Yep.
I don't know if that's from a place of like shame, or if it's from a place of I'm the hardest worker that I know, and therefore I just will brutally get this thing done.
Or pride.
Or pride,
Okay?
yeah.
Pride's both a strength and a weakness at the same time, isn't it? Right. So you got to be proud enough to instill excellence in your business, but you also have to swallow your pride and say, there's somebody out there smarter than me. The adage, right, that if you're the smartest guy in the room, you're probably in the wrong room.
Yeah, you need to go find a room where you can learn something.
That's right. And that's a key, because part of life, and we were kidding earlier about the movie City Slickers, but the secret of life is one thing, really. It's learning what not to do. And if you can eliminate the landmines and stepping on those landmines from those available resources, and have those resources give you very frank and good conversation, good input, and then also have that resource bring in some resources to your business, then it's a win-win for you. Then you'll make that business much, much stronger.
If we're talking about Tim doing more consulting in the future in the contracting space, give us a little teaser on some of the topics that Tim's working with some of these businesses on, because I know you already have like several clients that you're working with on the South Shore. You mentioned one already on this call, and Lynn,
Massachusetts. Yeah.
What are some of the topical areas that you've not only been able to just advise them on from your experience, but you've actually been able to connect them with real resources, real third parties, whether it be marketing or whatnot, to get them over that hump, to get them past that hurdle? Can you speak a little bit about those topics that you help people with?
Sure. We from being in the industry for so long, the trade industry for so long, we do have available resources available for those folks that have reached out to us. And we bring those in from QuickBooks or accounting standpoint all the way to social media. Social media is the big one, right? So we have those resources available to work with clients, because there is not that I haven't found, I call him the maestro. I haven't found one person that can do everything very, very well. I found a lot of companies that can support the contractor that do individual single line of focus very well. So we built a little bit of a network. We're continuing to build those networks. So if somebody's out there wants to network with me and become a resource to my contractors, that's great. We work individually with contractors, and then what we're looking at now doing is taking the gospel, if you would, of where the landmines are and what's available to help build your business. We're taking that forward, and we're going to be able to launch that in the near future, to be able to have contractors not have us wait for us in queue for us to come in and help them physically, but help them virtually through social media.
So who's a good fit for this? What if I guess there's an obvious person, somebody who wants to build a bigger business, right? Whether it's they are a one-man band now and they're trying to build a bigger business, or they're trying to maybe acquire a business. That maybe is obvious, but what if somebody's not necessarily looking to buy a business, or maybe they haven't really even thought strongly enough about how they're going to sell it? Like they just got a kid that they think maybe will take it over one day, but they haven't really worked on it.
Yeah, and I always counsel folks, think about 25 years from now. What do you want that business to be? What's your exit strategy? Is it to sell it? Is it to dissolve it? Is it to, hopefully not, is it to have it available to one of your children? Regardless, you need to think about building value in your business. and building the brand of that business. The biggest thing is the brand. I love to say you need to do good and be seen doing good. You need to work on those aspects of the business, because if you sell it, the seller's going to come in and say, what's your market share? What's your unaided brand awareness? Do the people in the community know about you? That makes it a very easy transition. If you're going to sell it to your children or give it to your children, same aspects, same steps apply, because you want your legacy to continue. You want that to continue to exist in the community, so the road that they're driving on with your business is a little less bumpy.
Yeah, I think most people just get caught up in the day-to-day, and they're not thinking a lot about the future. Mm-hmm. They're not thinking about where they want to be in 5 years, let alone 25 years, like you were mentioning. And maybe that's the main call to action for people, is if you're running a contracting business or you're looking to acquire a contracting business today in any of the fields or trades, technically, because they all rhyme. Maybe it's reach out to Tim and talk to Tim about sort of unpacking that plan. Just maybe creating a plan, maybe just articulating options, because they may not know, right? It's like, well, if you want to build a $5 million company, there's kind of these main steps you have to do to go there. And is that even attractive to you? Because that could be doing more HR than it is doing the trade itself. And maybe you really need to sit down with Tim and discuss that. And that could be a great door opener for the both of you, and value for the both of you.
Yep, absolutely. There's so many supports out there. The key is matching them. When you're a kid, you go to the doctor's office and there's that little cartoon book, and I immediately went to the dot connections, because life is nothing but connecting dots. It's finding a resource and matching it with a need. And whether you're selling to a homeowner that needs something, or whether you're trying to build a business, you're trying to match a available resource and match it to a need. And the challenge that independent contractors have is the time. How do I go find those resources? There's a lot of people out there that will love to take your money. Go to the trade shows. They're out there. They'll take your money, all right? But our job is to work with contractors, because we walk the talk. We've worked with contractors for 35 years, and we know where the landmines are.
And this is a small community up here, too, for the people that are working with you locally. To be able to make connections for someone like yourself in your network is fairly easy.
Yep.
Whether it be resources for your business or even customers, because you've worked with thousands of customers here on Cape Ann, thousands of homes.
Yeah. I've been blessed, and those the people that we had within our business here on Cape Ann were just phenomenal people. Luckily they've gone and found different opportunities, which I'm blessed that they have too.
So I know this is a little bit of a teaser podcast episode today to really start to unpack this focus on contractors. And I know we're gonna have you back to tell more of this story and bring more of this consulting journey to the contracting community.
And the other thing, forgive me for interrupting, join organizations. All right? And I know that's very difficult from time, but the Chamber is a good organization to join, because they have a list of resources that may be available should you choose to work with somebody other than us. Okay, you want to really, again, it's a resource, available resource, and the Chamber is available to you today.
Right.
They have a contractor group. They have this podcast. So you really want to find those resources, trial and error. Okay, eliminate your errors, and that's what we try to do. Let's cut through the wasted time and money that you might spend, and let's focus on what's immediate.
Yeah, I appreciate that call out. If you are a contractor and you're listening to this, you're more than welcome to come on this podcast and get the exposure and tell your story and make the connections. That's what we're here for. And all the listeners here, continue to like and share the podcast so we can support these local small businesses. That's the whole point of this journey that we're on. So, And Tim, we'll have you back to dive deeper into these topics because there's so many topics we
Yes,
could
there
dive
are.
into. I mean, when you talk about small business, this is going to be a mini series that's going to be valuable for everyone, not just contractors. When you talk about small business cash flows, I mean, that's going to be valuable for everybody. When you talk about small business marketing in today's world, that's going to be value for everyone. When you talk about hiring, firing, managing customers, you know, we can translate that, but there is going to be some extra special love out of you for the contracting world that people should reach out to Tim directly to get engaged with him on and to have these conversations. And so we're gonna have you back. We're gonna have a special launch of Tim's new consulting venture, and we're gonna dive into more of these topics deeply.
Yep.
And so if somebody wanted to reach out to you today, though, we got a phone number they could call you, they could text you, they could.
Yeah, the best thing, text my telephone number, 774-228-3411.
Or reach out to us here. He's a part of the chamber. You know, go join the chamber. Come reach out. We'll get you hooked up with Tim, and he'll change the trajectory of your business, your contracting business.
And we'll have fun doing it.
Exactly, because it should be fun. It shouldn't feel like it. It shouldn't feel like
We had a lot of fun at over Maplewood Avenue
Yeah.
for a good run until the last 2 years.
Now it's your turn to give back to the community, just like I'm sure you had people helping you along the way.
Correct. Absolutely have.
And that's a value, people, guys, you got to take advantage of.
Build your board of directors.
Yeah, build your community.
Yep.
This is a unique community. Everybody knows it up here.
Oh yeah.
This
Oh,
is
yeah.
a unique island. This is a unique Cape Ann.
Yeah.
Get involved.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, Tim.